Hey, what's up you guys? It is Aaron from Aaron Thinks Different and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video today, and as you can already tell by the title or the thumbnail, I'm going to talk to you about Notion. Maybe you are already aware of what Notion is, or maybe you are not. Either way, I'm going to show you my Notion setup for 2020 and for 2021. I think this is the perfect productivity setup for my personal use and maybe for yours as well. So I thought, why not share it with you guys, go through it, explain to you the databases and the linked databases and how I use which one and which way on Notion. But without further ado, let's just jump into my desktop and I will show you everything on there. Basically the view you will get if you download this template and use this template, and this is the home page of the template, you will get a small icon up here which is currently symbolizing me in front of my MacBook, because this is where I'm usually at throughout the day, because working as a front-end developer I usually work on my MacBook and do the stuff and the magic on there. Then the top header here is my motto or the lifestyle that I want to live. I want to do more, I want to achieve something, I want to accomplish the tasks that I set myself throughout the day. Scrolling a bit down, we will get the weather forecast for the next 3 days from the state where I'm currently living in. Scrolling down further, we will come to another row with 4 columns in there. The first column is a linked database. Right now it's from the database copy of notes, because I just copied all of my databases for you, that you can download this whole template later on, but I didn't want to share my personal stuff from my databases, so I just copied them and deleted the stuff that you guys don't have to see. That simple it is. So it's currently called a copy of notes, and this is the database here. I'm going to explain you how to use linked databases later on in this video, but at first I wanted to show you the home screen which you will get on my Notion template. After that we will just jump into the linked database and the master database stuff. So back to the notes. This is basically the quick notes. You can use any other note-taking app if you want to for quick notes, but I like to organize all my notes in one particular room, in one particular space, and this is why I chose Notion to also store my notes. So I made this database here, and then you can see this is I'm a note, and if I want to remember something or I see something and I want to write it down, I just click here and then I can write down another note, like I am another note. So that's simple it is, and now I just stored the second note in here. Further on the second column we have quick links. I have the grocery list, and I have my workout plan, because usually when I'm in the gym I don't want to click throughout all the pages. I just want to open Notion up and go to my workout plan, and I'm going to explain you my workout plan later on and how I use Notion for tracking my workouts. And then we're having this grocery list, which we will explain later on as well, because it's just a linked list, as you can tell by this arrow here, just as well as the workout plan, and both are stored actually in personal, but later on. Then we're having the daily to-dos. Usually when I wake up in the morning I go on my phone or I go onto my computer, my MacBook, and write down the stuff that I have to achieve on this particular day. In this case we just want to be fucking awesome. And then the last column in this row is the inspiration column. This is just to make this look a bit more fancy. This changes throughout the day sometimes on its own, but you can change it manually by clicking this, and then you get another quote. But I'm going to explain you how to get this as well if you want to. Coming further down we will get another row with 3 columns. In this case we will get an overview where I have 2 pages in. I'm having the personal page and I'm having the business page, because I want to divide my personal stuff and my business stuff. In the second column you can see my weekly goals, which I set myself throughout the week. So every Monday I think about what do I want to achieve this week, what do I want to accomplish after looking back on this week, and then I write them down, and throughout the week I always check this. And this time I went 3 times to the gym, so I accomplished this one, and I also did my high intensity interval training as well 3 times this week, so I accomplished this one as well. And the last column of this row is the yearly goals or the year goals, and in my case I think you can translate it, but it's to graduate from the training I'm currently doing. And this is the goal I set myself and I want to accomplish, so hopefully by the end of this year I can check this. Scrolling further down we will see another linked database. In this case it's called copy of tasks, and I will show you the tasks master lists later on, but right now I just put it into a calendar view. So I'm having the tasks from both personal as well as business stuff, and it's all stored in here, and I can look at it just as a calendar. I can see, okay, this stuff is happening on this day, and so on and so on. You can filter it, but as I already told you, I want to see personal as well as business stuff in this calendar. But you can change the view that this one presents here by clicking on the three dots on top of this linked database, and then you can set the properties, and in the properties you can change what you want to see. I actually want to see if it's done, and I want to see the priority. I set it, and then you can see, okay, well, this one was done, and I already did this one today, so I can check it and it's done for now. Okay, so this is everything you will get on the home screen of my operating system for Notion. And now I'm going to explain you how I use the linked databases and what's the goal, or why you should use linked databases, or in my opinion, why you should use them. But first I will show you the copy of tasks, which is basically the master task list where all my tasks for anything, for personal stuff, for school, maybe for business stuff, is stored in. And this will just simply look like this. So in this master task list we have different columns with different stuff that is going to tell us. So the first one is this task already done? Yes or no. You can check it or you can uncheck it. Then what's the task actually called? So we have to remember what we wanted to do with this task. Then I put a created on there. You don't have to, but I like to see when I created it, so sometimes I can see the time it took me from creating it to accomplishing it. Then I'm having a silo, which is very important in my opinion, because this is what helps me filtering it later on in my pages, whether it be personal or business or anything else. So I can say it's personal, or it's for school, or it's for my own business, or it's for a portfolio I'm doing right now, and so on and so on. And then I can set a priority to it. So is it a very high priority? So sometimes I have due dates on the same day, so maybe I have three tasks on the same day, and then I have to think, okay, which one will I be accomplishing at first, because the one has a higher priority than the other one. So this is like how I like to filter it. And then I can add a due date if I have to add a due date. Sometimes these are just projects without a due date or anything like that, but you can add them as well. And then I'm having a stand. Right now, the views you have seen, we don't need the stand, but I'm going to explain you why I just added the stand later on. So this is for the master task list. Then we're having a master notes list where you can change the view into any view you like to, maybe a table view or gallery view, but I usually don't click on this one. I only use this copy of this notes on my home screen, which you have seen here. And then we're actually having another database which is called copy of documents, where I store all my documents in. So I like to have my documents both in a paper way and in a digital way. I used to have photos on my computer and store them there and here, but it's quite hard to categorize them and to filter them through. So I decided to actually make a live database inside of Notion and add all the documents that I'm needing throughout weeks or days. I just put them in here, and then we can use this database as a linked database inside of different pages, and I will show you how I use them. So going back here to the home page, I told you that we're going to this overview later on, and so we are here in later on. And the first page I'm going to show you right now is the personal page. This is where all my personal stuff is managed. We're having this little icon here. It's a home because it's my personal home, and then we're having like autumn vibes on top of this, and we're having the first row. And inside of this row we're having 4 columns set, and the first column is the documents I told you about. This is from the copy of documents, and it's just a linked database. Again, you can tell this by this arrow, and I put a filter on this that it only shows me the documents from my personal stuff, so I don't need any business documents or so on, only the personal stuff. So it might come the day where I need something out of this, so I'm just clicking the stuff I need, and then I can see here, if I click this and just download it. And that's simple it is, and so I'm always on track of all the documents. In the next column you can see my lists. Right now it's only the grocery list because I don't have any other list to add there, and this grocery list is a very simple to-do list. This is what Notion calls it. So if you're clicking here and saying to-do, and then we can add all this stuff. Maybe we need some beer, because beer is always good. And after buying the beer I can just check it and I'm aware of the bought beer. The next column is my overview for my personal space. In this overview I'm having 3 own pages. The first one is my workout plan, then we're having my finances, and then we're having a habit tracker. The difference between how I use my finances and my habit tracker is that I usually do a new habit tracker every week, but my finances are all stored in this whole page. But first we're going to take a look at my workout plan if you're interested in it, because I'm very highly interested in sports and I like to work out a lot, so I thought why not make my own workout plan inside here of Notion. So we're having this icon here on top. Right now no header image because I don't need one here, and currently I'm doing a push-pull split, so which you can tell by here, and then we're having the first part is my push part, and then I'm having the handstand push-ups, and after doing 6 of them I can check them and again, and this is pretty easy how to track your workouts in Notion. And then I like to do high intensity interval trainings, and I like to remember the stuff I did, that I can redo them after maybe 1 month or 2 months, and to see the time it took me to do them, and maybe if I got better, if I did with more weights or more rounds or whatever. So I like to store them here in another database, but this time it's not a linked database because I do not need this high intensity interval training workouts anywhere else, so I just put an inline database in here. So you can see these are the ones I have already done. By clicking on them you can see the status, which is already done, then what kind of workout was it, it's rounds for time, and then my puke level, because I don't know if you do high intensity interval trainings or CrossFit or something like that, you usually like to puke after it. Maybe you don't, but in my case I like to afterwards. So I choose the level here. We're having 3 different levels, so this one was pretty simple in my case, and then I write the time down. It took me 22 minutes, and then what I actually did. So this is everything I can tell you about my workout plan and how I use Notion to track my workouts. On the next we're having the finances, and this is a bigger one. So, and now we're coming to my finances, and as you can maybe tell, these are not the real stuff that I spend, and this is not my real income and so on. Just some data for you, that you understand how I use this database in here and how you can use it as well if you want to. So I'm having some fixed invoices that I have to pay every month. So for this, Spotify, Netflix, iCloud, Google Cloud, maybe stuff you guys use too, I don't know. So it's pretty simple how I put this up. First we're having the name of what we're actually paying for, then we're having the price, which is costing, then we're having a category, so I can filter them later on if I want to see how much money do I spend actually on entertainment stuff, or how much money do I spend on subscriptions and so on. And then the date. For the date I just put in a text and not a number or not a real date, because in Notion you can use dates, but I just write the text because when it's always the 15th of every month, it could change if it's on Sunday or a Monday, so I just write down the day itself. So at the bottom of this database we will see how much money will be spent every month without stuff like paying for gas or paying for food or anything like this, just like the normal stuff. You could either put in here your rent for your flat or your car or whatever. Going down here we're having some toggles. You can see November, December, January, February and so on. And inside of November right now, it's the month we're right now in here, I just added some stuff and I'm going to explain you how this is going to work. So maybe in this case I put in some gas in my car. It cost me 10 euro, then I can validate was it really necessary or was it not necessary. I'm having 3 different kinds of options. The plus is saying yes, it was necessary. The equal sign is saying okay, maybe it wasn't that necessary, but sometimes you need it. And then the minus is going to say, don't do it again, don't spend your money on that shit. So just for later on reasons to check how much money did I spend on things that were really necessary and how much money did I spend on things that weren't that necessary at all. Then I can put in the date of the payment I took, and in this last column here we're having a silo where you can use multiple tags. In this case I went on vacation with my car and I had to put gas on it, so both tags are matching this silo. Scrolling further down you can see December is empty as well as January is empty and so on, because after every month you're just going to copy this inline database, duplicate, let it load a bit, and after you copied it you're just going to drag and drop this down in December. So, and then easy it is just to add them here. And after filling up your whole month inside of this, you will see the sum that you spent on stuff for gas, food, vacation, clothing, everything, plus the stuff that you have to spend every month. So this is everything my finances look like right now, and I'm pretty glad about how this whole database thing turned out, because it's very easy for me to track and sometimes even to filter. So we can filter here how many things did I buy which were really necessary in November. So we are going to click a filter on here, click filter, going to say was it really necessary, click yes, and okay, I only bought 3 things that were necessary in this case. Okay, but going back to the personal space, I'm going to the habit tracker. And the habit tracker is pretty easy as well. I like to track my habits in 2 different ways. On the one hand, I like to track it in Notion just to check them down, but on the other hand, I like this pen-paper connection where I'm using actually a real notebook to journal that stuff down. And if you're interested in how I like to journal, because this is just journaling for self-development on a very minimalism base, because I don't like to spend that much time on journaling. So I made this as minimal as possible, but also working for my case. Okay, but let's go back to this habit tracker here on Notion. We will get a new habit tracker every week, so this is what it's going to look like. We're having the weekdays in here, and then we're having the stuff that we want to track. If I did sports, if I did yoga or meditation, did I sleep at least 7 hours, did I take my creatine, did I read, and did I journal. By journaling I mean like in this notebook here. And then you can easily check them, and after the week has ended you can take a look at this and see how far you have come, how much did you do, what you actually wanted to do. So this is pretty easy what my habit tracker looks like. And to take a look back on them later on, I made an archive column in here. So we're having the habit tracker archive right now, and these are the habit trackers from the last weeks. And if a new week would start, I'm just going to duplicate this one as well. And then we're clicking in here. Then we're recalling this to habit tracker for the calendar week 47 in this case. And then we can track everything new and put this old one in the archive. So I'm having an archive of all my old habit trackers and also of all the vacations I did, and right now there weren't that many, and I didn't really put so much effort in the templating for my vacation pages, so I won't go any further inside of them. But going further down here, we're having again the linked database from copy of tasks from the whole master task list which I showed you previously, and where right now my personal tasks are just not visible because I do not have any personal tasks right now. So this is pretty simple. Let's go back to the start page or to the home page of my operating system and to the business. So let's go to the business page. If you're running any kind of side hustle or something like that, or if you're working on some projects you want to track besides your personal stuff, this template would be pretty nice to use, because, at least in my opinion, because this has everything organized in the way I need it to be organized. So, and on top of this, you can add your personal links. So I'm currently using it as a front-end developer, or at least someone who codes a lot. So I like to use GitHub, and you can switch this to whatever you want to. And I like to go to my OneDrive pretty fast, because I usually store all of my stuff in my OneDrive, and then to my website or to my portfolio or whatever, and you can change these up to whatever you want to. And then you can just mark them, say link, and then you can type any link in there, and then it's going to be a anchor. So it takes you to the website you put. Scrolling further down, you will see a row with 3 columns in here. The first column is again the document column, which is just a linked database, which I already explained to you in my personal, and in this case it's filtered by business stuff. So I only see the documents or the files for my business. The next one is task. If I have any task, maybe daily or weekly, just particular for this business, I will write them down here and check them if I did them. The next column is projects, and this is again from my master task list, which we already used in many other pages, as you can tell. And in this case it is a list view, and it has some different filters. So in this case I'm actually using the stand filter. What is the stand filter? In my case, I put different stands, whether it be planning, in progress, or done. So if I'm doing any projects for my business stuff, I want to have a task manager where I can set them to, right now I'm just planning them, or I'm doing them, I'm having them in progress, and if I did them, if I accomplished them, I want to see everything that is done. So, and right now the projects which list up here are only the projects I'm currently working on. So scrolling further down, again we will have a calendar view from my linked database, from this master copy of tasks, or whatever you're going to call it. And currently it's empty as well. This is good. I don't have to do that much right now. And in this case it has a calendar view, as I already mentioned, and a filter, and in this filter I just put the stuff that are containing in my business. So it will only show the stuff that is filtered on here. Scrolling further down, we will have like something you might know from Trello, and this is called a board view, and this board view is again working with my master task list with this linked database. I just added the filter for business stuff on here, so filter one rule, and it's arranger, because this is what my business is called. And then we're having 3 columns in here. We're having the planning, which doesn't have a due date, which doesn't have, where I haven't done that much right now, but sometimes I do have ideas I want to do one day, so I just write them down on here, just like the Notion video I'm currently filming here. And the next part is here progress, or in progress, and these are the projects I'm currently working on, whether it be doing a screen design for them, started to program them, or whatever. And then I'm having this column where I have the projects which are done, and this lightroom preset, which you can buy on my website if you want to, I did accomplish, so I can check them as done. So thank you so much for following me along this video with the whole Notion operating system I put up throughout the last month, maybe 2 or 3 months, and I've been using it daily right now, and it is so good for my productivity, to be honest. And if you want to check it out, and if you want to get it yourself, you can get it only for $5 from my website. I will put the link down in the description below. Just download it and use it and have fun and be as productive as you can be, as you want to be. I think this is a very good help for it. So if you've liked this video, please hit the thumbs up button. I would be very, very grateful for that. And maybe subscribe to my channel, and if you have any feedback or any questions or something to productivity, Notion, journaling and so on, just write it down in the comments below and we can talk and chat about it. Okay, thank you again for watching, and we will see each other in the next video. Bye.